Hey guys, thanks for joining me this week on For All Things Lexington. It's the only show dedicated to Lexington, South Carolina. Here, you'll hear me talk to people, groups, bands, and organizations about where to go, what to do, and who's who in and all around our beautiful Lake Murray. I'm your host, Angela Barrett, and this is For All Things Lexington. Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. I have James Amick from Amick IT Services. Not from, he's the owner and operator. Let me clear that up real quick. Thanks for being here today.
Glad to be here, Angela. Yeah. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. So now, you specialize in IT services, and your unique specialty is really to help small businesses.
Yes. Yep.
Cool. And a lot of small businesses, it's me. I mean, I do have an editor for this stuff, but, you're like, oh my gosh, how much is this going to cost me? When you call big services or whatever. So, and that's a really good service that you provide. A lot of real estate agents use you, which is a good thing. But before we get into your IT specialty, I have a question.
All right.
I want to talk about your ghost hunting, your paranormal research.
Not my side hobby.
Yeah.
A little on after creating my IT company, I found that I needed a hobby. So I was just sitting there waiting for work to come in and some off time. Didn't have anything really much to do during the weekends. So I was contacted by the South Carolina Paranormal Research and Investigation Society, and they're looking for another investigator. So I decided me and my sister both signed up. So
now, is there like a school for that?
No, there's no school. We're not professional. We're more just having fun helping people figure out unknown things.
Like where the ghost is in the attic, or
pretty much
the noise in the attic. Yeah. I have a Casper. Well, I did in my other house. He was a friendly ghost, same time, every day. There's this, and I didn't have squirrels, and I didn't have all that because I had all that checked. I said, okay, I guess it's Casper. So, well, that's pretty interesting. So back to the IT thing. How did you get started? Have you always been into computers? I mean, how's all that get started?
So I was always interested in technology, robotics, anything that like made a noise or anything like that. Any technical thing I was always interested in. My grandpa back in the day used to sell dictating machines. So and so he kind of started me off on technology. Of course, playing on the computer with my dad when I was really young, and my grandpa Chapman, he worked for Southern Bell. So I grew up with technology in the 90s.
Yeah.
So 90s technology. After high school, I actually went to college. My first college was Aiken Tech. Mm-hmm. So just went to Aiken Tech, studied technology there, to get an associate's in basic computer technology, just learning how a computer works and how to build them and all that stuff. And then went into networking systems, so how the internet works.
Right.
And in that at Aiken Tech, I got my first IT certification, CompTIA A+, kind of gold standard for a computer repair technician, just your bare bones.
So there are different kind of repair technicians, though, or IT technicians, because I know some can put a computer together and, make it work. But when it comes to that software stuff, they're like,
Yeah, and you do have people who will do one side or the other. My company tends to do both.
Yeah,
So I've done both hardware and software, not in a programming sense. So we don't do any programming with Python or C++ or any of that. I tried to get into that. Worst college class I've been sat through. I immediately just dropped that course.
right.
I did not understand anything about that. So,
But like your basic programs, maybe for non-Mac users, your Windows and Outlooks and things of that nature. Again, non-Mac programs, is that sort of software kind of things that y'all can do?
yeah, so the software stuff we focus on is like cloud storage. We do mainly mess around with Amazon Web Services, which is a cloud-based
Right.
software as a service, hardware as a service model. But as far as software goes, we're helping you set up your emails. We're helping you get cloud storage. We're helping you with installing an operating system on your computer, getting your desktop organized and all that. And also on the software side, we do have our automations, which is kind of the big point of my business. Is we do focus on helping people automate those boring tasks that they don't really want to do. Maybe you're, as a real estate agent, you have a lot of work that you probably sit at a computer. I don't really want to do this. It's boring, repetitive.
Right.
We help to automate that stuff so that way you can focus more on what your clients are doing.
So give me an example of that.
So a good example is data entry. So data entry is something that you're not getting away from it. It's always going to be there. You get a new client, you got to enter their information enter their house information into the MLS.
Right.
You got to get their information on the contracts, all that stuff. And if you've got a lot of clients you're onboarding, or maybe your onboarding step, or maybe just filling out paperwork. I deal with lawyers who fill out a ton of paperwork.
Right.
And it's just the same information going on different paperwork. And so that's something we can automate, whereas the computer will do that for you.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's neat. Now you're a pretty heavy blogger.
We do have a blog.
Yeah.
So we try the main point of the blog is just helping to educate people on technology, kind of tell them what's going on.
Great stuff out there.
What's going on
Phenomenal stuff
in the world. Hey, this is happening right now. This is what's new.
You've got some how-tos. And
we're actually starting to we do have a YouTube channel, so we're starting to roll out some videos as well to kind of complement the blog post.
Right.
So that way you get visual and you can read.
So while I'm on that, give me everybody your web address real quick, because it's at the top. The blogs are up there, and it is really phenomenal information. I'm not kidding. I mean, I went into this rabbit hole one day, and they sound like, and then that fight was like an hour and a half later.
Yeah, so our website is www.amickitservices.com, AMICK, itservices.com.
Yep. So y'all go there and read the blogs. Yeah.
Yeah, go check out the blog, check out our services. We upgraded our managed services to more of an umbrella package, so it's more inclusive, easier pricing for businesses. Because that's our motto is basically, my job is to help make your job easier. That's the whole thing of our business. Using technology to make your job and your life easier.
And the businesses that you're working with don't have IT people. I mean, it's not like,
we're at the chamber, so it's not like Lexington County, who's got a dedicated
Or
department.
have dedicated internal IT people.
Right.
And if you're a big business, you can afford that. But if
Right.
you're a small mom and pop or you're a startup,
For a sole proprietor, yeah.
yeah,
So it's hard.
even up to, usually once you get to 20 employees, you've got that control and
Right.
stuff. But up to 10 employees,
It's usually outside IT, yeah.
yeah. And a lot of these the thing is, small businesses are usually left behind when it comes to stuff because one is the affordability.
Right.
You go up to your big name IT company that's, got a contract with somebody like Amazon or
Right.
Lexington Chamber, they're going to want a large price for that. And they're going to probably want a 2 or 4 or 3 year contract
Right.
that you want to sign. Our company, of course, did away with contracts. We don't do long-term 3-year contracts.
Right.
We do kind of like a gym membership is how I tell people. You pay monthly and we help you.
Yeah. Yeah, because y'all got, we will have to tell the different services. So tell us about that, because I don't want to mess anything up. I can see it in my head, but I might start to messed up.
So the list of services we have our basic managed services for business, and that is just taking care of the technology, making sure it runs right, making sure it's constantly working, kind of like your car. You bring it in, you get an oil change, you get the tires rotated. That's what we're doing with your technology. We're being proactive so that way it doesn't break and now you're having to call around
Right.
and all that downtime. So that's with our managed services, which we just upgraded. We also, second one we have is our business automation, where we're going into the business. We're looking at what the processes are. We're looking at what we can make the computer do. What can the computer do for the company so that the company can focus more on getting more clients in the door and helping the existing clients get more out of their services. And
Yeah.
we've seen really good return rates on that kind of service.
Right.
They're really able to focus on the clients.
Right. Yeah. Anytime you can make it automated and you have more, physical time, doing something else is always a good thing.
The third one is our security. So this is a new one we've introduced. We're getting into cybersecurity because with the new thing with AI, cybersecurity is a really big topic. And again, large businesses can handle a cyber attack. They have the people. Small business gets hit by a cyber attack, that's it for your business. Your business could go under. So
Right.
really we'll help you get a written security plan for your business. So that way, what to do when it happens and you are prepared. That is something I highly recommend for every business, is just have that written security plan for their business so they know, okay, this is what we're going to do to prevent a cyber attack. And if a cyber attack comes along, this is what our steps are to mitigate the damage from it.
Right. Yeah. Good point, because you hear it more and more every day. And so that's a good point.
And of course, the fourth one is our emergency tech support, where if your technology, you do have a tech support issue, you can call or text us. We will come to wherever you are and we will help you fix whatever problem you are having. So those are the 4 services we offer.
Yeah, like everything just disappeared, or it's just frozen in time and been that way. It won't go anywhere. I've had that quite recently, actually. Yeah, so, and all of those have different packaging prices. Or you can do, I guess, the whole kit and caboodle, in a big ball.
You could.
Yeah.
That is, we offer both.
Gotcha. So now, you've got a book out, The Tech Mastery Blueprint. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So when I started my business, my whole stance on this is educating businesses on how they can better use their technology. There's a statistic out there that, enterprises, small, medium, large businesses waste about 10% of their budget on technology. That's how much they're wasting on. Because the thing is, they buy all this stuff they think they need, and in reality, they either don't need it or it's not being utilized properly.
Right.
I thought there should be a blueprint where you can sit down, actually look at your business on the inside, and be able to score on how efficient it's running, how healthy is the technology in it. And the Tech Mastery Blueprint, you can sit down, go through the book, and inside we have a little quiz I don't want to say quiz, but it's a little checklist that you can go down and you can look and you can grade how efficient your business is running. And that book will actually walk you through on, okay, here's what you do on the employee side. This is what you can do on the technology side. Here's how. The whole thing is just a blueprint where businesses can kind of put a magnifying glass on their business to see, okay, where are the bottlenecks in my business? Where can we improve? How can we be better?
Right. And you're right, because you kind of flounder around. You hear about this and you try it and that didn't work, or either, again, user error. And, and that happens. And before you know it, you wasted a lot of time and a lot of money.
Yeah, it's not a good trial and error works until it becomes expensive. And if your company's not making that much money, 10% of your budget, that's a large chunk of your budget.
Right. Yeah.
And we want to mitigate that as much as possible.
What are some of the trends that you're seeing in technology right now, other than AI?
So
AI, it's everywhere.
Well,
First man, you should tell people if you don't know. What is AI?
AI is artificial intelligence. So it's here.
Big deal.
Don't worry. No, it's a lot of people are very hesitant about AI. It's a tool. It can be used for good and bad. We're seeing both. As far as trends in technology, we're seeing a lot, of course, it's all based around AI, but we're seeing augmented reality. Apple, of course, has their Apple Vision Pro. You've probably seen people walking around the street with a $5,000 screen strapped to their.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's not him. It hasn't come to light.
Oh yeah, I was going to say just commercials or whatever. Yeah.
So yeah, we're seeing a lot in augmented reality. We're seeing a lot in how technology can be used in marketing. Marketing has improved greatly and has grown a lot.
And what are some of the things that you're seeing on the marketing end of it? What are people using it for?
So on the marketing end, we're seeing a lot more creativity come out of people because technology has improved enough to an extent to where you don't have to, let's say you're a small business, go back to small business. You don't really have the money to go out, find a high-end artist to make a logo. You don't have the money to get a marketing team together. That can cost a lot of money. What we're saying now with technology is people are now have the power on a computer. One app I use is Canva. It's a very powerful marketing content creation tool, does scheduling and all that. So now somebody running a small business, they don't have to hire a marketing agent. They can try and do it. They can do it on their own at a very low cost.
Yeah.
We're seeing that
Canva.
It's becoming more accessible to people wanting to start their own business who don't have a whole lot of money up front. So the barrier, technology is lowering the barrier of entry into entrepreneurship and business is all.
Right. So another big thing that I had seen is in the photography end of it. Well, case in point was the princess's name. What's her name? She just had a, you know what I'm talking about. He's been apparently missing for some time due to a stomach surgery, and this photo came out, and they were pointing out that most people at a glance or a naked eye, you know, are not going to notice. Obviously, people who are in photography go, what is that? You know, but again, it's here. I mean, so
it's here.
And some of it's good.
Some of it's good. We are starting to see how technology is making its way into the justice system, kind of for like copyright and copyright protection mainly, as well as other stuff. So,
well, because of it, I mean, just take the photography in, there are going to have to be some regulations on this, and quicker than not.
We are seeing it's slow, but we are seeing some regulation come through Congress and other courts. States are starting to come up with their own laws, and it's mainly to protect, again, copyright and intellectual property.
Identity theft.
Identity theft is on the rise, unfortunately, due to technology.
Right.
But again, we're also...
But there is a lot of good it does.
Yes, there is a lot of good. Like, we're using technology we're fighting fire with fire. And the good news is it's starting to help, because we do have those tools to actually help fight against those threats. And it's a double-edged sword.
Right.
So you have good and bad.
So with Chat GP, whatever it's called, GPT, is that what it's called? First came out, I remember typing in, it was a listing description, and I was going to see just what it came up with. It popped out something. I was like, oh, I don't sound anything like that. There's those words that I would never say.
Again, it's a tool.
Yeah.
It's not going to sound exactly like
right.
You have to edit it. And that's one of the other things that I get a lot on the automation side of it, is automation and the security of jobs.
Right.
So that's a big thing right now, is things get more automated, forcing jobs that are no longer being done by people.
Apparently we have an emergency. No. Right. But, you know, I don't know. I mean, it may, and I could be completely wrong and off base about this, but yes, could it completely replace a type job? But it's not. It can't, I mean, you've got to have a human component in there somewhere. I mean, because, or else it just go awry.
One thing I like to analyze is elevators. You know, you go in the elevator, you push a button. You know, back then a guy got paid about, in today's money, $4.25 an hour to spin a little wheel and hoist you up to whatever floor you want.
The good old days.
Yeah, that guy's no longer there.
No.
But you still have to push a button, or I've actually been in an elevator where you actually say out loud, hey, I want to go to the 4th floor. It's like, okay. You still have, the human element is there. It's just, you're doing it.
So you have to have somebody to fix it when it breaks.
Oh, yeah, you still have to have somebody there.
That would be my son. That's what he does. It's funny you brought that up.
That's a cool job your son has, by the way.
But, yeah, there's always going to be a human element to all of it. And there would be no there would be no reason for us to be here if everything came that way. So I never see that happening, or at least in my mind. Will it take, like you said, the guy that used to crank? Yeah, it took a job. But you,
It took a boring job.
yeah,
That's what I say is automation will automate the jobs that nobody wants to.
yeah,
Nobody is going to want to sit at a desk and do data entry for 12 hours a day
right,
for $10, $15 an hour. It's not, somebody's going to want to do it.
right.
The thing is, eventually, we will see that phased out where data entry is just,
Well, there'll still have to be some data entry because you got to have it in there at least once by human. Because only you
a human is going to enter it
once.
That's
Right,
and it's either going to be the client that does that or somebody else who
right.
on the field who does that.
Yeah, right. And you have to, at that point, make sure that the information is good information because it's going to be repeated. Because as we always say with everything, garbage in is garbage out. So
Yes, you will have to have
somebody who,
verification.
yeah, of all that. Yeah, absolutely. Now, where do you see your company going in the future?
In the future, we would like to grow. I'm looking to, obviously, right now we operate all over the state of South Carolina, as well as Charlotte, Augusta, and Savannah. Those are where we are right now. As the company grows and we start getting employees in, I do see us expanding into North Carolina territory. So that is somewhere I would like to take the company.
Yeah, that's cool. So, what is your favorite part about, I'm not going to say the IT in general, or most fascinating part, I guess, of what all you do? And it could be the new AI or whatever. But what do you find the most fascinating?
I will say this. What fascinates me is the further along in the future we get, the worse a printer will get. Because back then, I have grievance with printers as far as other IT people. We hate printers. Because back then, you could just plug it in. Well, now when you install a printer, you got to download an app, you got to connect to the Wi-Fi, and you've used printers before. Sometimes they connect, sometimes they don't.
And I've yet to understand, if I'm only using my printer for my PC, why I have to have an app on my phone.
Yeah, it's...
I'm not using it for my phone.
And with HP, we're starting to get managed printers where you subscribe to your printer that you bought. So
Right.
getting to that, which
Yeah.
that's the number one complaint I get is printers stuff.
Yeah.
And we still use physical fax machines. So
It has to be a very small amount of people.
hospitals.
Oh, yes. Well, yes.
It's mandatory in hospitals. You have to have physical fax.
For now,
And now
yeah.
we are seeing where hospitals and other medical are getting into the eFax space, but for security purposes, you still have to have a physical fax machine as a backup.
Right.
And
Because a lot of the hospitals have integrated into, I don't know, MyChart or whatever it may be for that hospital where, those doctors' records, although it's on that person's chart, only the doctors can see this part and you can read. Now, you have certain portions of your records that you can read, but I assure you they don't do it to you all. Some of those the doctors can review themselves.
IRS still uses fax machines. In fact, I work with a number of CPAs and accountants still have to fax things into the IRS.
Isn't that crazy? Because you would think with all the HIPAA, that anybody can just come and grab something off of a fax machine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Versus sending a secure email where you've got to sign into that email. That's just, I don't know, that's fascinating to me.
You brought up a good point that I always inform my client. It does not matter how good of an antivirus you have or how strong a password. If I can physically get onto your site and steal the computer, you have nothing.
Right.
That's why, along with cybersecurity, I also preach physical security because they go hand in hand.
Right. Yeah, and I don't really necessarily work with anything that's a HIP would be, I'd have to worry about a HIPAA. I used to many years ago, but yeah, that's a whole new ballgame just right there is all that, privacy information, and talk about in trouble if your information off your computer gets stolen.
Yeah, if that information is stolen, you have to tell your client, and that's not going to be good for you.
Yeah, and don't you have to report it as well?
Yes, you have.
Because it's a federal.
If you're, I don't know the exact law.
Yeah, you have to report it.
You do have to report it to your clients that their data was stolen.
Yeah. What a mess. Yeah, I just find it all and you're probably fascinated people like me who really know nothing about IT. That's why I depend on you guys. It does fascinate me, at least some of it. And then some of it, I'm like, just make it work. I don't need everything else.
And that's perfectly okay. If you come to me and say, I need it to work,
yeah, don't need everything else.
I'm more than happy.
But some of that other stuff, it is fascinating. And like I said, I am addicted to the sort of the photography things. I haven't really delved into using a whole lot, but I am addicted to a lot of it. I mean, watching it on the Instagram feeds and things like that. But it's fascinating as an amateur photographer. But anyway, well, thank you so much. Tell everybody how to get in touch with you. Again, please.
Yeah, if you want to reach out, again, www.amickitservices.com, AMICK-IT-services.com. You can also call or text us at 803-563-2144 or email us at info@amickitservices.com.
Yeah, thanks so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Completely.
Hey guys, thanks for hanging out with me today, and I hope you enjoyed the show. If you'd like to be a guest on the show or know someone you'd like to see on the show, contact me at forallthingslexington.com. That's the number 4, allthingslexington.com.
For All Things Lexington has been brought to you in part by Amick IT Services and by Angela Barrett at HomeMattersSC.com, building on what matters to you.